Hi guys, I'm Samar. Um, in 2014, I was arrested for slacklining in Bombay. You might be thinking about, wow, what a shift from seeing this fun, cool, beautiful video to a sad story of being arrested. But trust me, I'm going to take you on a journey of my life where uh, where you'll see the value of all of it. I hope that's my hope. So for those of you who still haven't figured out what slacklining is, it's a flat rope on which we walk on, we jump on, we play around on. It's something that's evolved from tightrope walking, which we traditionally know to have existed in our society for centuries. It's evolved into a sport, a meditation workout, a physiotherapy workout. It's got world championships and World Cups in it held internationally. The sport was born in 1970s. This format of it was born in the 70s, whereas the international competitions first started in early 2000s. For me, the sport began in 2010. So this is me on a slackline for the first time in my life. First time I stepped onto it, it threw me off before I could even realize. And in that fraction of a second, while I was on top and in balance, it planted a thought in my head that I can do it slightly better. So without thinking too much or analyzing it, I tried it again and again and again. It took me about 4 hours to walk or learn how to walk about a 4 to 5 meter slackline. Why I kept doing it was because I found that process fun, and it I was just listening to music and just playing around and enjoying a day out in the sun and in nature. Little did I know that day that that was actually one of a key lessons and a key value of my life that would start to get ingrained on my being, which is persistence. So from being on the slackline for a fraction of a second to coming to a place where I'm actually able to do this, uh, that is not possible without persistence. I didn't realize it then, but through that persistence is how I was not only in a physical sense learn balance, but also in a mental fortitude sense, where through going at it again and again and again, my self belief changed from oh, this is hard, to coming to a point where oh, I can do this so well that yeah, I got this. So that self belief is a crux. Moving forward from there, or actually instead of moving forward, let's backtrack a little bit. This is my education, but by the time I actually decided to sign up for this education, again in 2010, when I found slacklining, I was studying mass media. My parents were a little bit disappointed in me because I was a not so bright student and very, very like not inclined towards studying, right? And they were disappointed not because like, oh, this boy is stupid, but they were disappointed that like he doesn't apply himself. And we see potential, we see that you're a smart kid, but why does that not reflect in your marks? For me, that was just a matter of interest. I wasn't interested. So therefore, eventually, when I found an education being offered in a field that I was interested in, that's adventure tourism and sport, I was like, okay, yeah, I left my education of mass media midway and I went to New Zealand to study. Over the span of those 3 years in New Zealand, I got to experience practically all the adventure sports under the sun. So from skydiving to bungee jumping to downhill biking, all of it pretty much. And not just from a activity one time off perspective, but actually interacting with industry professionals and understanding what it takes to create a business and an economic structure out of it. Not from a perspective where I've just done this once and I'm going back home, but from a perspective that, hey, these guys are actually doing something they love and they're making a living, they're earning a living out of it. So if I learned the back end of it and the understanding of it, perhaps I could create an ecosystem like that for myself and live a life that I wanted to live, where I'm not confined by this or that, but I'm actually doing things I enjoy, and life pays for itself. So that was the dream. That was the whole idea of pursuing the education I did. Now, when education got over, I had to figure out what should I do with my life now. Right. I have acquired all this knowledge. I was like, which sport should I pick? And I eventually decided to pick slacklining. Now, slacklining at this point, again, like I mentioned, it's a very, very new sport globally. Uh, but it's a very accessible sport. So I wanted to also skydive, but in order to skydive, I needed a plane. I wanted to go climb a mountain, but for that, I needed a mountain. All of these are accessibility issues. So I chose slacklining because with a simple slackline that couldn't fit into my backpack, I could get the feeling that, oh, dude, if I fall from here, I'm going to break my head. So let me not fall from here. And at the same time, in the journey of those 3 years, without really thinking about it, I kept slacklining for myself for fun. When I found college getting stressful or some other thing happening in life, I found myself going back to the slackline to just relax and to feel weightless for a minute and to get that moment of peace and fun out of it. And then when it came time to like, okay, let's choose a career path, I was like, maybe I can create a career here because I love doing this. So let me see if I can continue doing what I love. And in the world, you need money. If I can also make money through that, why not? Another value of slacklining that's very beautiful that has helped me over the years is, and as I've gained over the years, is focus. Now, I'm going to keep this video playing in the background and just explain what's happening here. It's this is in this video, it shows you my brain being plugged onto an EEG. An EEG is a machine which reads your brain activity and brain waves. So this is me on the left-hand side of the screen, learning how to slackline with my eyes closed. That's a skill which I hadn't at this point practiced much. So in my first few attempts, you can see that my brain is fully lit up. And to give you like an example, coming back to the second, third, fourth attempt, my brain started lighting up less and less. To sort of simplify it and tell you what's happening in super layman's terms is, let's assume that there are 5 fingers required for me to slackline. On the first attempt, my brain is like, you know what? Oh, sorry, there are 5 fingers available in my brain. My brain is like, you know what? I have all these 5 fingers available. Let me just use everything. And my brain used everything. And it realized it didn't work, or it worked, or some parts of it worked. As I kept trying and learning, my brain became more efficient. It made my body more efficient, and it eliminated the useless processes. So eventually, when I actually start getting it, you will see that my brain is lighting up, or it's having activity only in the specific part which is required to conduct this task. And all the excess, all the extra that's there gets put behind, or is not in use, which makes us more focused, which makes us more efficient. So subconsciously, I was learning how to focus better. And perhaps that's also a reason why my grades and all these things went up, because here I have to be, in order to find balance on a slack line, I have to be so focused that I'm just focusing on the line, how it's moving, and being there, being present, rather than being in 400 different places of, oh my God, what my marks are, when are the exams, and will this girl get impressed if I do this, and so on and so forth. It wasn't about that. It was just about being where you are, taking a breath, and it's a streamlined focus, which I got from slacklining. So moving forward, when it was time, like I said, to create my career, I didn't have proof of concept. Here in New Zealand, before leaving, I figured that let me try and create a proof of concept. So with the community, we actually started this whole slackline scene that took place in New Zealand. There was a huge festival that was happening. It's called American Express Winter Festival. And like a lot of people show up to it. So we contacted the festival. We're like, hey guys, let us display slacklining for you. And they were like, yeah, sure, it looks good. And we were able to actually get a platform for this sport. We also got together, put a hat out, and raised money for charity. And this just was to get a proof of concept that there is an ecosystem in this obscure idea of walking on rope. And with that validation and with that proof of concept, I thought to myself that, you know what, it's time for me to go back to India. I'm going to go back to India. I'm going to win all the slackline competitions that are there. I'll be the best slackliner in India. And I came to India. When I came to India, I realized that there's about half a dozen slackliners in the entire country. And obviously that's a hurdle. And a little while after that, I got arrested. And obviously that's a hurdle, that you're getting arrested for your soon to be career path. There aren't enough people who know about it. Forget being in the field, who even know what slacklining is. A conventional business person would have told me like, hey buddy, stop your business plan, the market is not ready, and so on and so forth. but but because I enjoyed slacklining so much, I didn't give up on it. I was resilient with it in spite of all these hurdles coming my way. This process was a pain. I actually remember going to the court for a process of 3 months, paying a fine, and thinking like, how is it not possible that I can slackline in my own country? I'm not doing anything wrong, and why is this not okay? But again, like in defense of the law and the government at that point, they didn't know what slacklining was. So by this orthodox way of thinking, anything that we don't know is not okay. But that mindset is what I have an issue with, and I wanted to change. And that's a part of my journey, and that's what I also got from slacklining, is a change in mindset. And in hindsight, when I look at it now, one of the best things that could have happened to me at that point is this. At that point, when there's 6 slackliners in India, how do I reach out to more people? I cannot afford a one pager in a Mumbai Mirror and a big chunk in a DNA. This was amazing free marketing that I got. So in a sense, now I'm able to look at it in hindsight. This was amazing marketing. Through this, people actually learned about what slacklining is as a sport. And that actually started generating interest in the sport. And people are like, oh, okay, cool. This is a slackline. This is what we can practice. Let's go get a slackline, put it in a park and try. And through this journey, not just in Bombay, but throughout the country, small pockets started arising where people were slacklining in their local park and in their own small community, you know. And again, in the process of years, my dream of being the best Indian slackliner did not come true so far officially, but at the same time, I was able to organize a competition for somebody else, where there were about 23 people who took part in the first Slackline India Championship. And this was amazing. You know, I didn't get to participate, but I got to judge it, so I count that as a win still. But it's so nice that, like, it's not about the competition as well. It's about these people from across the country coming together and sharing this exceptional and obscure skill of bouncing on rope and flipping off it, and an exchange in mindset and values of how did you crack this, what were your hurdles. So these were very amazing gatherings, and it didn't just stay on the ground, it took to new heights. It really took to new heights, in the sense where slacklining was not just happening above knee height, it was happening between two cliffs. And we were able to organize a festival where people got together and went on high lines. And again, this is the first time this was happening in India, and it was so awesome to see that that proof of concept created in India as well. And in fact, I actually have a friend who once told me, is like, who was a slackliner, is a slackliner. He said, I'm afraid of heights. I don't think I'll ever highline. You know, and a little while later, now he's amongst one of the nicer highliners of India, and he can slackline at a very good highline at a very good skill. So how did he come about that shift in personality from being like, I don't think I'll ever highline, to now being on a highline regularly? That facing that fear and overcoming that fear is such a beautiful value which I've gained from the sport. So to tell you a little bit about it really quickly, is first time I tried highlining, I was frozen. My body did not respond to the input I asked it to give me. And it was miserable, and it was a suffering when I had to go through it. But when I did go through it, I am so glad I went through all of that. I'm glad I was resilient. And through that, I found all these little hacks which helped me overcome slackline, overcome the fears of height, fear of falling, and so on and so forth, you know. With that same value set that I hope you've gotten the value set which I've described. With this in mind, we've actually created an education program for slacklining. And I'd like to share this quick little video with you. Yeah, this is about slacklining in India in a rural place. in Chhattisgarh, where we're teaching kids how to slackline, and let's hear it from the kids. What
I am learning slackline.
क्या सीखने मिल रहा है इससे?
Balance, focus, concentrate.
मैं नीलेश कुमार महादेव क्षीरसागर कलेक्टर गरियाबंद के रूप में पदस्थ हूँ। इसमें एक स्पोर्ट तो है ही, बाकी जो वर्कआउट होता है वो तो है ही, लेकिन उसके साथ मुझे लगता है कि कंसंट्रेशन का भी बहुत ही अच्छा एक एक्सरसाइज होता है। और आज के लाइफस्टाइल को देखते हुए मुझे लगता है कि ख़ास तौर पे स्ट्रेस, प्रेशर और आजकल की जो एकदम गतिमान ज़िंदगी में इस तरह के स्पोर्ट्स से जो लाइफस्टाइल मैनेज करने के लिए बहुत ही अच्छी ये विधि है।
So, guys, coming from a place from being arrested to a place where a government official is actually able to vouch for slacklining, I think that is a very beautiful journey where now it's accepted in the system. And more than forget the legalities and the laws of it, now just listen to what this kid has to say about slacklining and the emotion.
स्लैकलाइन को देखने पर मैं घबरा गया, लेकिन अब मैं कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि मैं करूँगा पूरा कोशिश करके करूँगा जो मैं करा भी।
So imagine where this person went in a couple of days of sessioning, where he was like, I got scared, and but I was like, I will do it, and I will do it, and I will do it, and he did it. And he was actually in that week when we were slacklining with these kids, he shined really bright. And in order to shine really bright, he went through a process of falling 400 times within that week, but he did it. And it was so nice for us to have that interaction and exchange with this kid. That just is very, very fulfilling. And I guess to sort of sum it, why did he do it? Why did I do it? Is because we had fun. We stayed persistent because we had fun. Through staying persistent, through having fun, we were able to tune in, get efficient, be focused, which brought us peace and happiness. It helped us overcome our fears. Yeah, it helped us get to a point of taking a fall, taking a hit, and not giving up, being resilient, right? I guess these are my lessons which I've learned in life by turning my hobby and my passion into a career. My name is Samar Farooqui. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this talk.